Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I thought I would just do the introduction for this video inside because there, again, are like 50 people mowing around us. I swear just everyone loves mowing their lawn. Right when I want to start filming, the guy across the street has literally been mowing his lawn for the past 3 hours using different instruments to make it like the perfect height. So anyway, let's not speak about that, but welcome back to another video. I actually haven't really filmed a video in quite a few weeks. Really? Yeah, I've taken a little bit of time off filming just because I was finishing my thesis off, some corrections that I had to make, as well as publishing some of my research. So now that that is all done, I can spend a little bit more time on YouTube making videos and spending time out in the garden. I've also really just been trying to rest my body after having a really bad eczema flare, which I swear so many people are going through eczema flares right now that I know. So if you're also one of those people, I really feel for you. It's not the nicest thing in the world. So that's also been preventing me from getting out in the garden. But I thought today I would just grab the camera, grab a nice cup of chicory tea, which is caffeine free because I've had to give up coffee, which is really sad. I have been sneaking a few decafs though, but this is delicious and will do the trick. And I'm just going to do a little bit of pottering about the garden. I'm firstly going to go and pick some flowers that I need to dry before the rain comes because the rain is just never ending, I swear. I feel for all of those people right now who are experiencing floods north and south of us. It's just ridiculous how much precipitation has been falling from the sky as of late. But while the flowers are dry, I need to go and pick a few to dry them further. And I also have a bunch of spring and summer veggies that I really want to get in the ground. I'll put a little overlay of all of my little seedlings that are very happy, but they're only happy to a certain extent in those little pots. So I need to get them out in the ground so that they can grow and produce food, hopefully for us. If you are new here, my name is Robyn and I live with my partner and my 2 cats here on the southeast coast of New South Wales. We have a permaculture garden that we're starting as well as a flower farm, and we like to grow a lot of our own veggies and herbs and flowers. So that's the goal for the rest of this year and all of next year, is to grow as much as we can. So before the rain comes, I want to have a nice happy positive time outside in the semi-blue sky. There's like a tiny bit that I see over there, so I'm gonna go with that and just have some time with the flowers in the garden, and I will take you along with me. The first job that I want to do is go and pick all of the calendula and some cornflowers that I'm going to be drying. So I'm gonna go do that and then we'll come back in here, pop them in some silica sand, and then work through all of the other jobs that I want to do. I'm trying to get the flowers that are mature but aren't showing any signs of going to seed or looking sad or anything like that. I want nice fresh flowers because I'm going to be drying a lot of these to probably either make some calendula oil, or I'm going to be putting some of these in some bath salts. care of the flowers? Come on. Alright, and I have my battery going dead. That's cool. Right, I have a new battery and all of my flowers here that I picked from the garden. So I firstly went for the calendula, which is this one here. So I have some orange and some yellow ones. That's the majority of flowers I got, and then I went back down to the flower farm area and picked up just some cornflowers. So I have this blue one. Just wants to focus on my face. And I also have a kind of maroon pinky colour. This is a little bit of a darker one. And a few light pinks as well. And then I picked just a few of these. These are a rainbow mix of chrysanthemums, and I'm going to see how well these dry in silica sand or silica gel. And I also picked some everlasting daisies, which are native to this area, and they are pretty much already dry. So I'm just going to air dry those. But there's a few different ways that you can dry flowers. One of them is you can just take the whole flower as it is and set it out and let it dry. A little bit difficult for us right now because we have really high humidity, and with all the rain, things just aren't drying very well, and you have potential for the flower to go moldy. So another way that you can do it is to speed up that drying process if you just still want to leave it out, is you can just remove all of the petals from the flower and just dry the petals, because they have much less water content than the back of the flowers. They're going to dry a lot faster if you do have a few sunny days. So that's what I'm going to try and do with a lot of the calendula. I had dried some already as whole flowers, and I just went out there now and removed all of the petals which were dry, just to see how long that method took, and it did take quite a long time. So I think I'm going to just try drying them without them attached to the body of the flower. But I'm also going to be drying some in some silica gel crystals. I have done a whole video on how to preserve and dry flowers. This is a really easy method if you're short on time or space or dry air. Definitely pick up some of these. They're really affordable. And I'll leave the link to the whole video down in the description box if you want to check it out. Great idea for Christmas presents coming up. But yeah, I'm going to dry some of those in that, pick all the petals off the calendula, mainly want to see how the chrysanthemums dry in the silica gel, and pick all of the petals off the cornflowers as well. So that's something that I'm working towards with the flower farm, because I've just been hit with so much bad weather this year. It's been really difficult to actually put bouquets together that I can sell, which is fine because this was just my planning and growing year. But I still want to kind of create something with all of the flowers, so I'm going to be drying a lot of them and then making bath salts and maybe some calendula balm to hopefully build up stock on that to also sell with my flowers. So that's the plan for a lot of these flowers, and I think it's just really cool that I can have homegrown flowers with bath products and beauty products as well. I absolutely love a good Epsom salt bath. And with dried flowers, it just makes it even more special. So I'm going to be putting together a few jars of those. I just need to order all the other ingredients, but first I want to dry the flowers so that I have all these ready. Right, then with the silica gel, all I'm going to be doing is just testing a few of these to see how they dry. So I'm just going to use like a takeaway container just for a few of these, and yeah, see how it goes. So you just want a nice little thin layer like this. I like to pop the flowers down like that. So how many can we put in here? Probably 2 or 3. Making sure that you trim as much of the back off as you can. That way hopefully I can lift it out like that without all of the sand going everywhere. And then I just need to cover it up. Make sure that all of the flowers are fully covered. And then just leave for a few days. You can check every few days to see how they're going and how dry they are, because you don't want them to get too dry that they start falling apart. Just dry enough so that you can preserve them and use them in pressed flowers or in picture frames. That's what I did with a lot of mine. And yeah, then just make sure to put the lid on of your container and put them somewhere where cats can't get it. Right, I thought I would do a little bit of a voiceover for the last bit of this video. Unfortunately, the mowing around turned into people felling trees, so we're having to make do with voiceover. But I wanted to get a few jobs done out in the garden. The first was just clearing some old winter and autumn veggies like the silver beet, doing a little bit of weeding. We have this really annoying onion weed everywhere. It just spreads and it's not edible and it is a pain. I'm also removing some of the kale stalks. I originally just kept these in the ground because I thought they would rot away, and I don't love removing the roots from the ground. I like them to break down naturally and feed the soil. But these ones were starting to regrow and they were just making a mess in the garden. The roots were just preventing me from planting anything else around it, so I just removed them, and we're going to be planting some cucumbers in this space. I'm amending the soil with some compost. I used this in another video and I really like this product, so I'm just spreading it around the soil lightly on the surface. And I'm going to be planting Space Master cucumbers. I have 2 in this little container, so I'm going to plant these in here and probably build just a small little trellis for these. These don't grow too large, and apparently they produce quite a lot of cucumbers, which is great because I have this small little space here that is all prepped and ready for veggies. Cucumbers do like a lot of water. They don't like to be dry, so make sure that you are putting them in an area that you can regularly water. Not a problem right now with all of this rain that we're having, and they are quite heavy feeders, so make sure to add some compost or worm castings or some kind of organic fertilizer onto the soil when you plant your cucumbers. I'm giving them a water in just to make sure that the water is hitting the soil and being able to go directly into where those cucumbers were planted. And then I am mulching the area just using some sugarcane mulch. This is my favorite mulch to use. I talk about it all the time, but it's super light and fluffy and just breaks down really easy and adds nutrients and nitrogen back into the soil. You can use pea straw or hay or anything else that is nice and light, not going to weigh the soil down too much, just so it can all breathe in there but also feed the plants. I'm also planting some Black Beauty zucchini. This is just your stock standard zucchini. We really love these. I love making zucchini bread, and we just eat a lot of zucchinis in our diet, so I would like to plant a few of these around the garden. Just making sure to fluff up the soil when I plant them. This is all over no dig bed, so a lot of this area hasn't really been forked or the soil hasn't been worked at all. You can see behind me I need to remove all of those ranunculus, but this is generally like the first or second time that plants have been planted in this area. So it's a really fresh new garden space. I'm seeing what grows well. Obviously a lot of flowers do. We'll see how these veggies go too. And then lastly, this looks a little weird, but I am braiding all of the old daffodil and jonquil leaves just to tidy them up a little bit, because I'm always tripping over these in the pathway and I just want to tidy them up. It's really important to not trim back a lot of spring bulb leaves before they fully die off, and that's because right now the plant is taking in all of its energy it can from photosynthesizing and uptaking nutrients to put back down into the bulb. So then for next year the plant will multiply and have further flowers. So I'm just braiding them and tidying them up a little bit, wrapping them up in a little knot, and it looks much better in my opinion, and I'm not going to trip over it again. Alright, I think I'm going to leave this video here. I planted the 2 zucchinis, 2 cucumbers, tidied up some spring bulbs that are now going over. I feel like I've managed to cover myself in dirt, which happens every time I'm out in the garden. But thank you so much for joining me on another video. I hope you enjoyed this little garden with me, and I can't wait to do a garden tour. I know I've said I want to do one for a while. Fingers crossed with all of this rain, I can get out tomorrow and film one of those. Realised my hair looked ridiculous and I'm trying to get it out of my face. But make sure you check out my Instagram page. I post there daily of things that I get up to in the garden and at home. And make sure to check out the Earthly Roots podcast, which is a podcast that I run with Diane from Diane and Samson. We're putting new episodes out every week, so that is super exciting. I'm going to go inside because all this wind and rain is on its way. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. And until my next one, happy gardening everyone. Bye.